Hello, I'm Larry Lee with Brownfield Ag News Network. Daniel Lennington joins us. He's with the Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty. It's been a while since we've talked, Daniel.
Yes, thanks for having me back.
Well, you have an interesting case that recently wrapped up, a settlement in a suit against USDA. Tell us about this particular suit and what brought it on.
Well, after the Trump administration started in January of 2025, they inherited a lot of USDA programs that discriminated based on race and sex. There was, by our count, about 26 different programs or 30 different programs, and the administration started to dismantle these, but we thought rather slowly. Brooke Rowlands wasn't confirmed until later in the spring, and we had sent a letter from our client to the USDA, and the congressional delegation also sent another letter to USDA, and there was little action, so we sued over three particular programs that discriminated based on race. One is the dairy margin coverage fee, one is the loan guarantee program, and one is the EQIP environmental grant program. And all three of these programs, white males were discriminated against because they were white male farmers. And so we brought this lawsuit in 2025 and hoped that at the time that the Trump administration would take swift action.
Did you have just one plaintiff on this case, or was this a class action?
Yeah, this is one, we just brought it on behalf of Adam Faust, a dairy farmer from Chilton, Wisconsin, who was also a plaintiff in the Farmer Loan Forgiveness Program, which in 2021 we won, which was going to forgive farmer and rancher loans only to black farmers. And we got that program stopped. And this is just was another one of the Biden era programs that discriminated based on race.
When you look back at the 2021 case, did the outcome of that pretty much set the table for this suit?
Yes, that case and several other cases regarding race discrimination made very clear that the court system was not going to put up with any different treatment based on race, farmers or anybody else in federal programs. And so that was why it was such basically an easy case to bring. And the Biden administration was defending these programs, but when the Trump administration switched over, they stopped defending them. So soon after we filed this lawsuit, Brooke Rowlands issued an executive memorandum indicating that she was going to abandon all of these race-based programs. And eventually, just this last week, we announced a settlement with the USDA to open these programs up and to prevent any preferences that were being granted to female farmers and minority farmers.
In the settlement, were the terms primarily to change the programs, or was there also a financial settlement involved for the farmer?
No financial settlement with the farmer. The USDA did agree to pay us our attorney's fees, Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty, which is there's a federal law that says that when you sue the federal government and you win, that they will pay your attorney's fees. So they paid our attorney's fees at will, which allows us to represent more farmers like Adam Faust pro bono. And there are definitely some issues out there for farmers that we're looking at strongly right now, including the dairy checkoff, which we think is an unconstitutional program. And we're looking for clients right now to challenge that.
As far as the checkoff, what is the challenge there? What are you looking at as far as the constitutionality?
Well, as any of your dairy farmer listeners know, that every hundredweight of milk that's sold, the dairy farmer has to pay 15 cents to go to the dairy checkoff. And part of that goes to the state program and part of it goes to the federal program. But as we've seen recently, a lot of that money is being funneled into ESG, environmental social governance programs, the dairy net zero program. A lot of this money is going into programs to basically blame dairy farmers and blame cows for global warming. And so why should dairy farmers be forced to pay into a fund that is created to destroy their entire livelihood? These programs are requiring more paperwork. They're requiring even small farmers to fill out all sorts of disclosures about what sort of formula and grain is fed, what sort of die off is happening in every herd, all sorts of detailed information that the dairy farmers have to sit down and do this paperwork. And the whole point of the Dairy Net Zero program is to basically stop stop animal production, to stop the dairy industry. And so why should farmers be forced to do that? And so we're looking very closely at challenging that program based on the constitutional right of free speech and free association, which says that you shouldn't be compelled to support a message that you don't agree with, especially if it's a message that is of a private company, like the Nestle's of the world, the big corporations of the world that buy our dairy products, are the ones that are supporting this ESG and this Dairy Net Zero, which is going to destroy the livelihoods of thousands of farmers in Wisconsin.
When you look at that, you also have the problem of few buyers, many farmers. If these buyers decide, well, you either comply with these or we don't buy your milk, that's another problem, isn't it?
Yeah, there's issues with monopoly behavior and restraint of trade that is in my mind a secondary issue right now. The first issue is we want to get USDA, which is the one that is enforcing the dairy checkoff and the one that is responsible for administering the checkoff, to stop doing what they say they're going to stop doing. Because in Trump's executive orders and statements from Brooke Rollins, they oppose Dairy Net Zero, they oppose ESG, and yet they are still enforcing this checkoff, which is forcing farmers to pay into these programs. And so if we can get the federal government to stop doing this on the front end, then perhaps we can start dealing with the restraint of trade and the monopoly powers that are being exercised by these huge multinational corporations, which, aren't even American. These are not American companies which are imposing these rules on American dairy farmers, which is absolutely outrageous.
Where's the progress on that particular issue and suit?
We're working on a case right now, and we're looking for plaintiffs. And if there are any dairy farmers out there that are interested in being represented by us, they can go to our website, which is will-law.org. We represent all of our clients and all of our farmer clients pro bono. We cover all the fees and costs, and so there's no obligation at all. If people would like to stand up, at the end of the day, there's no big payment you're going to get. That we don't go for damages against the government, but we try to get them to change their behavior and at least direct this dairy checkoff to promote what should be promoted, which the law says that dairy products should be promoted, cheese and milk. And primarily Wisconsin dairy goes to cheese production. So, it would be nice if this 15 cents per hundredweight would go to cheese promotion rather than go to a message that says that dairy farmers are essentially bad people who are trying to destroy the world, which is what ESG is all about right now.
Anything you'd like to add today?
No, but we appreciate all the support and support from the farmer community, and anybody who wants to learn more about our cases can go to will-law.org.
Dan Lennington is with Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty. Thanks for joining us again here on Brownfield.
Thank you.